Okay, we're good.
Is anybody present at City Hall, Chief? Any public?
No public showed up.
Okay.
All right, I'd like to call the City Council meeting to order for March 19th, 2020. This is a phone conference call due to the situation with the COVID-19. Roll call, please.
Alderman Catalano.
Here.
Alderman Jacob.
Here.
Alderman Messina.
Here.
Alderman Sorrentino.
Here.
Alderman Sosmarski.
Here.
Alderman E. Wesley.
Here.
Alderman R. Wesley. Alderman Woods.
Here.
Mayor Police.
I'm also here. All right, first up, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the State of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. First, we need a motion to approve the minutes of March 5th, 2020. Who's that? Mike?
Alderman Sosmarski, so moved.
Alderman Wesley. Motion and seconded.
Who seconded?
Alderman Wesley.
Okay. Any questions? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. So, Chief, we have no citizens that wish to be heard this evening, you said?
That's correct. No one is here.
Okay. Next, under Mayor's report, we have a resolution consenting to the continued declaration of a local disaster emergency in the city of Wooddale due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Alderman Jacob. Make motion.
Pat, you know who made the motion first?
Alderman Jacob, I don't know who made the second.
Alderman Wesley.
All right. We got Peter and Sonny. Any questions on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes. Next, under City Manager's report, Mr. Murmas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have one item this evening. As the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic unfolds with changes almost on an hourly basis, we ask everyone to please be patient. For residents that may not yet know, City Hall is currently under a soft close, meaning we are working, but the building is not currently open to the public unless they need to enter for business that cannot be handled remotely. We cannot predict where the situation will end, but public safety and essential services will be the priority. Please, everyone, be safe out there and follow the guidelines advised by your local, state, and federal leaders. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, consent agenda. If no objections, we have 3 items. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Who made the motion?
Was that Peter and then Eugene?
Yeah, that was Alderman Jacob.
Okay, and Eugene, right? Okay. We could probably do a roll call. Go ahead.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino.
Yes.
Alderman Sosmarski.
Yes.
Alderman E. Wesley.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Okay, next, I need a motion to approve the items on the agenda. Item number 1, an ordinance amending the City of Wooddale Stop Sign Ordinance, Chapter 15, Article 20, Sections 15.2004 of the City Code regarding stop signs Item number 2, a resolution authorizing the approval of an intergovernmental agreement with School District Number 7 for Ward 2 and 3 stormwater projects, and also add upon attorney review. Is that correct, Pat?
Correct.
Okay. Item number 3, a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Sickich LLP for auditing service for fiscal year 2021. And Randy, you made that motion? Is that correct?
Second. Sorrentino.
Yes.
And Sonny, second. Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman E. Wesley.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes. Next, committee chairman reports. Start with planning and zoning and building. Alderman Jacob.
We have one on the agenda here, approval of SBT, move to accept the CDC approval on this matter and to recommend the approval of the concept plan as presented for the redevelopment of 372 Parkview Station, the former SBT property, with a 142-unit residential planned unit development as reflected in the submitted concept plan documents. That is my motion.
Alderman Sismarski, second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Questions, Alderman Woods? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple major concerns. I think is looking at the access road that goes out to Commercial Avenue. The one, if I look at the ingress and egress, when they show the fire engine or bus, I'm assuming that's a fire engine coming out of there. They don't show one going in. I don't believe a fire engine can actually make a turn from Commercial to go look at. 2, the location of that exit is both almost co-joined with the Park District's driveway, and that there would be some conflict. My knowledge of those things always when they're too close. There's some issues with it. Number 3, it's coming off like a blind corner because you're at the apex of that corner there, and so that has the potential for issues. And I think this is number 5. Number 5, if I look at the Bueller plan, that road would access out to almost lined up with where we were thinking of putting some kind of amphitheater or mixed art performing. That's something really to look at. I don't know how well that fits when we answer all those questions.
Continuing, and then do you have something else, Alderman Woods?
Touch on. Yeah, so the second part of this, when I look at, is another issue. I know that we're.
Hold on 1 second. I don't know. I didn't hear Art anymore. He blanked out. Did the recording pick him up?
Yeah,
I'll make it easier. I'll make it broad brushstrokes. So if there's concerns with the stormwater here, like I say, the access drive, what those elevations look like on Wooddale Road, being there's a lot of grade drop there. My concern is approving this as presented. A lot of things that are in here that nobody can really see in real time and space and view outside the vacuum of this project, meaning view it next to the park, view it next to what our vision for downtown is. There's a lot of issues. How does this grade look at White Cottage, being there's like 6 feet of drop from one driveway to the corner of White Cottage? My opinion is that this probably work out better as a 3-building development to address all those things. But if nothing else, these are issues that we need to address
when this goes back to the CDC. Another issue, if you can still hear, is when I compare the documents that the CDC was given versus the documents we were given, and match up that data doesn't match, as in the number of apartments, studio apartments versus one-bedroom apartments versus two-bedroom apartments. That may have a concern only because of parking. If you're using one apartment or one unit, a studio, to say that would only be one parking space, a one-bedroom could be 1 or 1.5, and a 2 could be 2. If those numbers change, and they do change drastically, in the difference of them, that could be a potential issue. Again, looking at that would work out better if it was a 3-unit development versus a 4-unit development, because we wouldn't have to worry about the parking, we wouldn't have to worry about the stormwater. Those things would be naturally addressed by having one less building, same number of units. When we look around at other communities, neighboring communities, with limited open space, the natural progression is everything really has to go vertical. If you're trying to improve the area, almost every community is going vertical, because that's the only way that you're going to get the development to work with all the building zoning issues that are at play. So I think that covers the majority of the things I wanted to express. I will type these up and send them to Jeff so that they can, and to Ed, so that they can be addressed maybe at the CDC. But in my opinion, this really works much better as a 3-building development when you look at it, as opposed to a 4-building development. I'm all in favor of moving forward, but that's my opinion. Thank you.
All right, Alderman Wesley, you also had a comment, I believe.
Yeah, I just have a problem with the drainage, the relief valves on the drainage. I have a concern about the maintenance agreement for the paver bricks, how they're going to maintain those. Those are my concerns.
Okay, so also stormwater concerns.
Yes.
Okay. So, Pat, before I go to anybody else, Pat, so these would be like conditions to the motion, is that correct?
Well, what you'll be doing is approving the concept plan with those considerations being addressed.
Okay.
So what Jeff, I think, heard it, so did Ed. The release valve, that's set forth, the requirements are set forth in the county stormwater ordinance, and there will be a maintenance agreement required that was brought up at the committee. We'll make sure that is included as to the compliance to any kind of a drainage or anything will be compliance with the county stormwater ordinance that will address concerns from both of the aldermen. The access drive, that will have to be evaluated. Perhaps the city manager and Ed could make sure that gets communicated to the developer, as well as the concern or the suggestion or recommendation to evaluate a 3-building project. So you could approve the motion as is, with direction to staff to inquire about those items, to see if those could be addressed before the matter comes back to the CDC.
Okay, before I go for any further, anyone else have any comments or questions on these items, or have any other concerns?
Alderman Woods, if I could
go ahead, Alderman Woods.
Yeah, so there's a piece of land. So if you look at the access drive or egress drive that empties onto commercial, there's a piece of property that at least it appears, between White Cottage and that access drive area. Who owns that property? And then the little triangle left by the road, White Cottage, and what would be that access drive?
Is that
city property? So is that in play if we had to do something to manipulate this access road and make things work out? Like I said, I'm all in favor of creating or doing this project and moving forward. I just don't want to move 2 steps forward and have to fall back 3 steps, right? I don't want to fix 3 things and wreck 4 things. So while we have a chance to correct some of the potential issues here, looking at it when we can see it in the greater context of the rest of the area, that we'd be able to address those. That's all.
Hey,
Go ahead.
People speak up, please.
Mayor, this is the city manager. Can I be recognized?
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, my intent was to sit down with Ed and the development team very early next week, or maybe even get on a call tomorrow to kick it off, but address all these comments that have come up, and then address them in the CDC presentation as, feedback for potential options, and then for sure get all this information back to the council in short order by the next time you guys hear about this on an agenda.
Okay.
Okay.
And just
Mayor.
just hold on one second. I just want to make a comment, just so you guys understand, everyone understands. So the elevation that Alderman Woods was talking about, so on Wooddale Road, everything looks like it's at grade, but in the renderings, but that building on Wooddale Road might actually, not sure, could be 7 to 10 steps up, and look kind of strange there when everything else is pretty much at grade. That's one of the concerns there. And then the number of units don't seem to match what was given to us last week and CDC. So we just need to get that straightened out. I mean, they could be just simple formalities, but better to have them checked now while they're going back to CDC, and then when they come to us, then, we bring this up. So that's why we're bringing this up now. Alderman Messina, I think you want to be recognized. Is that correct?
Alderman Wesley
No, I
would
just
like
wanted
to
people to speak up. Sorry.
Randy, did you need something? You want to say something?
No, I just wanted people to speak up. It was hard hearing people.
Okay, Alderman Wesley, go ahead. Follow up.
My other concern is that Art brought up the point about the 4 buildings that going down to 3. Let me ask you this: if we approve this concept plan as 4 buildings, are they going to proceed with the 4 buildings, or take our advice, maybe change it down to 3?
Well, that gets into the comment that Manager Murmas made. I mean, that's going to be brought to their attention, and then
Okay.
that. So the concept you're approving with those issues, all you're doing is moving it forward so that they can refine it and present it to the CDC. There's some advantages to a three building. There's some, the developers got some ideas as to why they went with a 4 building, but those are all discussions that the manager can have with our, with the building department and the community economic development director to ferret out.
Tony Catalano, can I be recognized?
Yes, go ahead, Tony.
So originally, when they went to the CDC, what are you telling me that? What are you telling us that they originally proposed a 3 building and now they changed it on us and they're going with a 4?
No.
It was always a 4, right?
Yes. They always had 4, but then they were over 150 units at first, and now they're at 142. But and I'm not sure. So we got a set of plans. We got numbers like I forget how many studios we're showing, how many 1-bedroom. But then there's another set of plans that doesn't quite match what we got last week. So I don't know if those are a new set of plans that came in, and they're making changes. When they're making changes.
Okay,
You
so
know,
Mayor,
so
Mayor, can I be recognized?
Follow up.
City manager? Yeah, so I would just say that this is not uncommon and probably exactly why it was taken to CDC as a concept before it was taken to CDC as more of a well-defined project. It's still a work in progress, and these comments are going to be taken and then vetted out. So, I mean, this is all kind of expected, and there'll probably be, in addition to these comments, obviously in the concept phase, I'm sure there'll probably be another set of tweaks or modifications at the next phase. So it's not like they're, I don't believe they're being, maliciously changing the numbers or anything like that. I think this is a work in progress and pretty much the point of the whole exercise.
Yeah, so Tony Catalano, I have a follow-up.
Yes.
So my question is, I mean, we're going to ask them to go with 3 buildings. That's a big change. I mean, I'm happy with 4 if they can make some of those changes that Alderman Woods said, but telling them to go down to 3, that's a big change.
Can I
especially how much money they're investing in this.
Go ahead, Mr. Murmas. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say we're not telling them to go down to 3, nor are we voting tonight to go down to 3.
Okay.
We're going to get information about what 3 could potentially look like, or why it could be a good idea, or why it might not be a good idea. We're not telling them to go down to 3 tonight.
Okay, gotcha.
Alderman Woods?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Again, to address everybody on the phone, this isn't, this is to develop the best project we can develop. And so given the information that I was given, there's a lot of discrepancies. As the city manager pointed out, and Ed Cage has pointed out before, this is kind of common. My concern is I want to vet out what those discrepancies are so we know what the actual numbers are, what the actual facts are, so that I can actually vote on it and make a concerned vote. And then looking at the 3 versus 4 buildings, that's a toss-up. That's building an extra building versus adding a floor to 2 other buildings. They already got a print for a taller building, so the cost differential isn't as great as they would like it to be. That being said, if they can prove out that all these things can be addressed, I'm open and flexible. That's in my opinion. Having done this for a long time, if I look at all the adjoined areas that are going to be affected, the open area behind the police department and City Hall there that we use, the town center, and those are big things that we've spent a lot of time and energy on trying to develop. I just don't want to see us make any mistakes on this development, and that's why I'm being a little more, let's say, particular about the information coming to us. And I think that Jeff summed it up, that he took all the information down, he'll present it, and they'll have a conversation and vet out all those details. So I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, so we had a motion and a second, but we need to add the amended additional conditions, I believe. Is that correct, Mr. Bond?
No, Mr. Mayor, what you need to do, the motion is to approve the concept. The direction to staff is to address those concerns that were raised. So that is part of the action taken by the vote tonight.
Okay, so do we need to amend that motion to have the staff?
No, you've given direction, so that's sufficient.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other questions before I call the roll? All right, roll call, please.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman E. Wesley.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Okay, and that passes. And that concludes your report, Alderman Jacob?
That concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Under Public Health, Safety, and Judiciary and Ethics, Alderman Sorrentino?
There's no report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Works, Alderman Catalano?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Under Finance and Administration, Alderman Woods?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Under Other Business, Airport Noise, Alderman Jacob?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Under Stormwater Commission, Alderman Wesley?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you very much. I need approval of the list of bills for March 19th, 2020. Alderman Woods.
Alderman.
Yeah, I'd like to make a, I'll make a motion to approve the list of bills.
Alderman
March
Sack.
19th,
This is Marcy second.
in
Okay.
the amount of $478,965.83.
Okay. Do we have a second? Do we have any questions? Anybody have any questions? No questions. Then roll call, please.
Alderman Catalano,
Yes.
Alderman Jacob,
Yes.
Alderman Messina,
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino,
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski,
Yes.
Alderman E. Wesley,
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes. Before I ask for adjournment, to all residents, please stay safe and follow those guidelines as much as you can. We have no executive session, no items to be referred. I need a motion to adjourn.
Alderman
So
Sismarski
moved.
make that motion.
Okay, Eugene and Mike, motion and second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? We're adjourned.